The next is, so for every little thing we're going to do block objections, because I think that's the number one thing I hear is, but Julia, because y'all are probably all thinking of an excuse right now, like, anyway, so Rita's going to take over and just talk about some excuses or objections, and we have to be able to block.
I just am curious because I'm not good about like just reaching out to people about the business. So that's how all these influencers that you've ever wanted on your team, you don't talk anything about the products. You just say you would rock this business.
Well, I think the products speak for themselves.
Yeah.
So I think if I'm messaging Amy, I'm like, girl, it's a probiotic, it's a multivitamin, it's an omega, it's energy, it's plant-based, it's like that speaks for itself. The products you should be on, like there's no question there. Like you should already be a customer. Like it's silly that you're not. But the business, because you can get behind the products, and because as soon as you get behind the products, you're gonna blow this business away. You don't have to sell the products. The products. I mean, if we went around this room, we could be here for 7 days talking about all the health testimonials in this room. Life changing. I mean, I think if y'all haven't heard Tara Anner's story, it brings me to tears every single time, and the girl looks incredible tonight. And if you heard her story, you know why. I don't have to sell the products. The products are incredible. Killer PV. I mean, my PV was like $4,000 because I was sharing all day long, every day, never stopped, didn't take a day off, posted 10 or 12 times a day.
That's why I blocked her. Or I unfollowed her.
But, so she knew there was a chance the products might work. But as soon as I told her, I don't know if y'all heard the story, but we'll tell it in a little while. But if you had heard, Julia goes, hey, yeah, the products might work great. And I said, but here's how much I'm making. She went, what? Tell me that number again. Because it wasn't that she questioned the products. It was, great, so the products work. I can buy products anywhere. But I can make a business with this. So these products are great. Obviously, everybody's using them. And I mean, she had too many friends almost that were telling her how great the products were. But when she realized the business worked, then the products were a no-brainer. So that's where I lead with the business, especially with influencers. Y'all still need customers. So get customers that don't want to do the business. Get customers that you're like, if she shares, it won't matter. Not that she just doesn't have true influence, or she'll never share. That will never be a comfort zone for her. Great. Make her a preferred customer. Have her as a preferred customer for 2 years. That's fine. If people start to ask her about it, then switch her to an ambassador and get her some PV and get her some income to cover her products. But if she's an influencer, share with her what the business could do for her. I just think you're doing a disservice if you go, we have great products. I mean, we have this business too, but I don't want to scare you off with the business.
And be specific with that too. And that's selling and sharing. Selling, you're just saying, hey, you can do this business. That's selling, boom. But sharing is, list something specific. Hey, I know you have very good communication skills. You could totally use that in this business by blank. That's sharing. You know something about them, and you're sharing this with them.
Or you know why they need it. You know, girl, your husband hates his job.
Exactly.
If you could I know he hates it. He talks about it every Sunday in Sunday school. Says, I can't stand my boss. Pray for me that I have patience and truth with my boss, or that, my boss gets fired. All those things that people share prayer requests, and you're like, oh man, I'm gonna give you my business card right now. Like, you need to do this. Like, how many times do you hear a mom say in a Bible study, like, I just want to be able to quit my job, or I think I'm gonna have to take a part-time job because we can't afford something, and you're cringing, going, the products would help her, but the business would change their lives. I mean, just $500 or $1,000 a month with this. I mean, she doesn't have to want to go diamond. What if she just wants to pay the mortgage every month? Like, and you don't have to start it out with, girl, you know how much money you can make? You can start it out with, girl, do you want to just pay for Christmas this year without having to dip into savings? Do you want to just pay for Christmas this year? And right now, they could get a paycheck. Anything they sell this month, they get paid for by December 15th. That pays for Christmas before Christmas ever hits. Before the interest rates start hitting in January, they could have already paid off Christmas. And those are things that really, truly matter to people. Sorry.
So, now let's go into objections. And just talking about Christmas, y'all, just being at this point, like, I don't have to bat an eyelash at Christmas this year. And it's like, we'll just buy whatever we want to. Seriously, when used to, it was on the credit card, and then 3 months later we were still paying it off, you know, and it's just that stress of not having that. It's just such an amazing blessing. Okay, so objections. I mean, where we are, no matter where you are in this,
I have a group chat and they're requesting that you put the computer up a bit because they're looking at boobs.
It started because of Lindsay over here blessing me.
That's funny. I like that reaction.
Anyway, go ahead.
Okay, we got that.
Now that we're filming.
Yes. So we are all going to hear objections. Like I, at Jewel level, hear them every day. And so people sometimes will say, "Oh, but you're already a Jewel. Like you probably don't have to deal with this." Like we all have dealt with this from day one. Probably more than anybody else in here. You know, for us to get to this level, we have had a lot of objections. But you know, outside of Plexus, I'm a physical therapist, and if I just went up to you, like, Andrea, I think you would be an amazing therapist. Like, I would love for you to do this with me. Like, look at her face already. She's like, heck no. Like, no matter how passionate I am about something, it's not for her. It's not going to be for everybody. So don't get offended if they don't just love it and hop on board with it. You know, no matter what you do. If somebody came to me and said, "You'd be an amazing teacher, Rita," I would throw up on them. And that's something I could never do. So,
But if you came up to me and said, you have a passion for people, you love helping people, I see you all the time, you are kind, you're strong, like I know that you work out, which she would never say to me. But if she did, I would be like, that'd be a good, like, if she told me qualities about what she does that she sees in me, that I don't see in myself, I might go, you're right, I might be a really kick-butt therapist. But I wouldn't, I'd be an awful therapist. And I know that because we have one. But I think there's a difference between you would be really good at this, and let me tell you all the qualities I see in you that would make you really good. But I do agree, not everybody is supposed to be an ambassador.
But I say that to say, don't be offended. Keep going, because it's not going to be for everybody. And, you know, just to cover some of the objections that we hear, can I do time? Or is that somebody else's?
You can do whatever. Just remember, we're an hour in and we took that 3 points.
Gotcha. Okay. So this is just because I hear this more than anything. I do not have time to do this business. And you know, when someone gives you an objection, it is number one because they are either uneducated about what this business is about or what these products are about, or number two, they are afraid of something. So you need to have that relationship with them and just kind of talk it out. The last thing you need to do is to make them feel stupid. You know, when they say, "I don't have time," well, I could say, "Well, I work full time and I have 3 kids and I can still do it." You know, like that. That's me saying I can do something you can't do, but really it's not like that, you know. And a lot of network marketers use the feel, felt, found. You know, I know exactly how you feel. You need to validate whatever excuse that they have to kind of get on their level to be able to communicate them and understand where they're coming from. Because not very many of us hopped on board right away. And, you know, a lot of us, it took time and there were fears that were involved. And so we've got to know that they are coming from that same place. And if you didn't feel that way, you can say, "I know exactly how you feel." My friend Andrea felt the same way about, you know, whatever it is, whatever their concern is. And then you can say, "But what I have found," and just talk about, you know, what it was that made you overcome. When someone tells me they don't have time, that's exactly what I thought. I have 3 kids. I work full time. There's no way that I can do this business. But the beauty of network marketing is that I can just sort of put this in my pocket and do it whenever I can. And then I would say, "Do you have a lunch break?" That's when I did a lot of my business, was on my lunch break. Do you get up before your kids do? Can you stay up a little bit later? When I was nursing my 3rd child, like I worked like crazy. Every time I nursed him, it was 20 minutes. I sat down and nobody else was bothering me. And like just kind of pick apart and say, "Well, do you have this? Do you have this?" And kind of just see where they're coming from. And then another objection I hear a lot is, "I don't know anybody." Of course, we all know that we all know people, and just just kind of show them. Are you involved in a church? Do you have children? Do your children do anything? And show them where they can find people. Well, what about on your Facebook page? Like, how many friends do you have? Listening at Leaders Retreat, that I can't think of her name, I'm horrible with names, but she had like 100 Facebook friends, and she's diamond now. So, and just kind of dig in, find out what their fear is or what their objection is, and kind of show them how that's not really an objection. Just show them, I didn't think I knew anybody, but turns out, my husband has all these friends, or I remember about the friends I went to high school with or to college with, and just kind of, show them where they could go with that.
Yeah, that's good. Good job. And I wonder, that was a conversation. Like, obviously, Rita did not say all that in the first message.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a continual conversation. I think people need to remember, it's not, like Andrew said, they're not just going to jump on. Most people, who all jumped on the very first time someone messaged you about it? How many people did it take? 2, 3? Okay. But I mean, there's a conversation. Those things change. You're asking questions or talking. For the majority,
This is my best
Who's
friend, Joy.
next?
I am. Well,
You and him.
me and so we're still talking about relationships, and I am going to kind of not rush, but I had with my PowerPoint, I actually had a song I was going to play. Ella Rob and I started singing it together, and You've Lost That Love and Feeling, so you could just, somebody else can sing it. But this kind of popped up when we were planning, and the reason we're doing You've Lost That Love and Feeling is because with relationships, part of this is you've got to continually grow your level ones. So for me, I have a rule, and I'm sure since y'all are on my team, you need to go silver every month. You should strive to go silver every month. Now, there has been a month that I did not. However, that should be your goal, to you yourself recruit 3 level ones every month. And so I know some of you are sitting there thinking, like, I'm trying and it's not working. And so that could be for various reasons. But right now I'm going to talk about losing that love and feeling. So just many of y'all in this room, some of y'all might be brand new, but some of y'all have been with me for about 2 years. And, we started thinking about people who are going through the steps. They're saying, I'm doing 5-3-1. I'm having meetings. I'm posting consistently, and it's not working, Julia. And I think of my husband. So when my husband shares how he came to know the Lord, he uses just a story of growing up in Sunday school, and he went to a little church in Leroy, and they had like little sheets they had to do check marks. So like he would go in and like you would check mark you read your Bible every day. You would check mark that you brought your Bible to church, and all those things you had to do. But he did not have a relationship with the Lord. Like, it was just a bunch of checklists. Now, I am not comparing Plexus to having a relationship with the Lord, but I like that because some of us are checking our list every day, every week. I posted every day. I sent 5 messages. I got on that Zoom call. You're staying really busy, but there's no heart, and the people around you can see that. They can see that excitement. They can see if you truly believe that these products can help them. Because if I run into, and I always use lupus because of my mother, if I run into anyone with lupus or autoimmune disease, I'm excited to be like, I have nothing in me to be like, these products can help you. Because I believe it, I've seen it. Now, honestly, because of Joy, if I meet somebody with cancer, Joy, I'm like, oh my goodness, my friend Joy, and her hair's growing back, and you need this products. I mean, I'm sending X Factor to a friend trying to grow her hair out, but because I've seen it with my eyes, and I believe it. So I'm just going to keep this short, because I think this is more self-reflecting. If you don't have that excitement, if you're just checking it off, and you're wondering, like, why is this not working for me? Do some self-evaluation. Do I really believe this? Am I showing my friends and my family? I think the holidays coming up is a great time. Maybe you might not be on the phone. You know what? I might even miss a day or 2 of posting 3 times a day about Plexus. I'm going to be real honest. But you know what? I'm going to make sure my family sees that I believe in these products, that I take them consistently. I'm going to make sure they're sitting out on the counter, pull them out in the bathroom, leave them there, not trying to but you're going to see that excitement. So make sure you are, and I think it's what this ties in with what Brooke was saying. You've got to live it. Do you have anything that you kind of help me with this one? Oh, I'm looking at the quote, and I'm like, this is so good. Going through the motions is the same as staying still.
And I mean, we're very much analogy people, and Melissa's too, Mrs. Quinn of analogies. But think about your marriage. If those of you that are married, you know, sometimes you can just kind of go through the motions. You're like, gosh, have we even had a conversation? And I know we're like, you know, we're doing the same things, we're talking every day, but have we really like connected? And sometimes you just need to go off for a weekend to reconnect. Does that make sense? Like you've got to refresh sometimes. And I think that kind of organically falls into, like, as simple as it sounds. I know my team has probably heard me say this quote. People don't like simplicity because there's nothing to hide from. So like when you're upline and saying, well, are you doing this? Are you doing this? It's probably the same questions over and over again, right? Because it really is the same simple stuff over and over. And kind of like Julie was saying, as far as like checking the list, you've got to find where your excitement is and where is your passion come from. And really and truly, what does that all boil down to, y'all? It comes down to your what? Your why. And that's like, okay, well that was really good. Yeah, I kind of explained that. Yeah, can you tell like the people that you spend the most time with, your top 5? I think we would have picked up the same. We would have had the same gesture since we were probably 19 too, though. But okay, so y'all really, I know that my team knows that I've asked them these same questions over and over, but I want y'all to just stop and think like you've heard it for the first time. And some of you maybe have heard it for the first time. But I know when we went to Jewel training, I just saw it in a whole different way. I thought for the longest time my why was my long-term goals. Does that make sense? Like, okay, my long-term goal is to pay my house off and be debt-free. Whose long-term goal is to be debt-free in this room? Yes. Whose long-term goal is pay for your kids' college tuition? Yeah. Okay, things like that that are long-term. And so sometimes we get really, those things seem so far off sometimes that we get weary. So those are goals, y'all. But your why is rooted behind those things. So, and we always talk about your aha moment, your line in the sand moment. And if some of you that read Millionaire by Halftime, has anyone read Millionaire by Halftime? It's so good, y'all. He talks about a rock your boat moment. And people say, you know, you need to have a why that makes you cry. I agree with that to an extent. But to me, I think you need to have a why that makes you uncomfortable. Like, where you are, if you stay the same way, it makes you uncomfortable. Like, for me, I think most people in here, not most, but a lot of people in here started off, they just wanted to get their products paid for, right? When you have 5 people, you're on their own products, you want to pay for it. Okay, and then it gradually, okay, well, let me do this next. Okay, I want to make $200 because I wanted someone to come and clean my baseboards. So, I mean, little things. And then when I wanted my mortgage paid for, I wanted to double our mortgage. I thought that'd be so great. We can cut our, 30-year mortgage down to 15. But I will tell you, my rock the boat moment was within that why. Okay, this was a goal. I wanted to get my mortgage paid for. But behind that goal, what would that look like? Yes, it was the X amount of dollars per month. It would cover my mortgage. It would look like we'd pay off debt a lot easier. But in reality, the real deep meaning behind that was my husband would not have to work so much. He'll be home more. And for me, that was that my husband wouldn't have to tell my kids goodnight over FaceTime. So really, that is my family's legacy, because I want my husband and the father of my children home to invest in my family, invest in my children. Does that make, you know what I'm saying? Like that dollar amount got broken down to a much deeper root. And all of you have that much deeper root. It just takes peeling back the onion and pulling those reasons why. And y'all, we're such a busy culture that we don't take time to self-reflect. But if anybody knows that I love John Maxwell, there's a book, 15 Laws of Invaluable Laws of Personal Growth, and there's a chapter just on self-reflection. Y'all, take time. Go out to eat with your spouse. Invest and pay a babysitter for 3 hours and say, let's talk about what we want our family to look like. What does our legacy look like? What do we want our family to look like in 5 years, 10 years? And really figure that out, because it takes, you may not know that deep-rooted why right now, but if you can talk that through with someone, your upline, your spouse, whoever, and figure out what it is, because if you're checking off and you're checking a list, I'm missing out 5 people, that mortgage might seem a long time off. But if you look in whatever your deep root, to me, my passion comes from, right now, my deep-rooted why, but also because I know my team's whys. And that, I'll tell you, it makes me uncomfortable to know that, to think that they might be where they are in 5 years. I want to make a difference in their life. I don't want them in the same place. That was your rock the boat moment. So I want you to think about your rock the boat moment. Okay, so like Ellen, I remember her saying, Ellen is Andrea's level 1, where she got really angry about where she was. She's like, I don't want to do this anymore. It made her uncomfortable. Are y'all following? Does that make sense? Anything else you
I
want
think
to
you did great.
I have all these. If y'all, I'm a note nerd. Like I want so much. Like I want to just read
I
this
cheated
over
off in college.
I'm like I love all these quotes, and I feel like I want so much. So if my team page are probably blown up by quotes that I forgot to tell y'all. But just be content where you are. Be thankful and grateful, but don't be satisfied. Don't be satisfied. Great quote.
Okay, so we're going to move on to the next topic, and we will, just speakers will not be mindful of time, is team culture. And I think team culture, what's the great quote?
Oh, I love this. Culture, this is from John Addison. Culture eats strategy for breakfast. So we can give you all these tips. I think it's John.
I don't know. No, I told
John
John.
some.
So, team culture. So we're going to talk about this. So something I am very passionate about, and I'll tell you where it stems from. It wasn't really me. I kind of had a little strategy call with a fellow diamond who just does very, very well. And she was telling me one of the things that she teaches her teams that I feel like I have not been very strong at, but y'all might have seen it coming, is your team page. Events are great. Everything's great. I'm trying to think. Events great. Zoom calls with your team are great. But your team page is what your team sees every day. It's what introduces your wholesale customers to your team. Most of your wholesale customers are not going to get on your Zoom calls, but they're going to see your team page. So do not have a stinky team page. That would be what you need to write down. Don't have a stinky team page. So how do you not have a stinky team page? Now, I will say early on, and I didn't ask if you agree with this, but I know early on we were like, and I do believe you are a leader when you get your first customer. You're a leader when you get your first investor, when you're like, start a team page. I'm pulling back. In fact, I asked on the Diamond page today about what they thought what creates a good culture on your team page. And one of them said, they don't encourage team pages till gold. Now, if you're not gold yet, you have a team page, that's fine. But I think it's because it's important to have an effective team page than just to say you've had one. For us, I think first you have to make sure you're not, I don't think anyone would be just flat out negative on their team page, but I'm probably on most of y'all's team pages. And sometimes I can see like a negative kind of undertone. Like maybe you had a bad day, and maybe you need encouragement. And you always want to go to your upline to that, other than your team page to say, hang in there, team, it's going to get better. And then your brand new ambassador's going, what? What's going to get better? I just joined your team. I thought this was great. And so you want to be careful with your wording. I always say, Plexus, sometimes there's, I know we went through a little shipping mishap there for a little while. If you were continually apologizing, it kind of got the new people and even the old people going, oh. And I'm not saying, lie and rose-colored glasses, but I'm saying be a leader and make sure it's always encouraging. Be very transparent. In your life. I think the more transparent, the more vulnerable you are, the more people relate to you. The more people want to follow you. I know, but Lindsay and I try, and I'm making an excuse, but I've had a crazy month and I feel like I haven't done a very good job, but we try with our team page to post 4 times a day. Now, that's not saying 4 times a day. That's just kind of to give us up there to make sure we are consistent. And in those 4 things, we try to post something motivational. She's my motivation girl. And I'll tell y'all, I'll put another Cuba team page. We have separate pages, but our pages probably look the same. We use the same stuff. It's okay to even join a power partner and have the same page if you and your friends started the business together. I know a lot of people are very successful. I notice a lot of Jules do that. But we try to post something motivational. Y'all, for me, I'm not a motivational girl. That doesn't get me these motivational quotes. But I do know there's people like that of some color, and that's what gets them. We try to post something IPA, income producing. That's for those people wanting to work that business. Maybe 531, how to post, how to reach out. We want to post product information. You want to make sure your wholesale customers are engaged. So Lindsay wasn't going to do business, but I put her on my team page because you need to be putting everyone on your team page. And she caught the vision. One night nursing, she was scrolling through, and next thing I know, she sent me her first Facebook post. She's my first diamond. So if I had thought, Lindsay's just going to use this for wholesale, I'm not going to put her on my team page, I would have missed out on
my first diamond. So, and probably half of y'all. So make sure you put everybody on the page. And then the fourth one, sorry, I don't have all my notes here. What's the fourth one? We have IPA, products, motivational, and basics. Just something very basic. And
Think about kindergarten, like, okay, what is this part of, what's the K point mean?
right.
Simple, simple, simple.
Or when I said
what's
pink,
in-
drink pink,
Yes,
fruit.
yes.
Like just something basic. And again, y'all, this is not a checklist, or for me it kind of is. But some days I don't do 4, but I know I'm being consistent. I know I'm hitting 4 different areas. I can see different people commenting on my stuff because some of my wholesale stuff, people are like, oh, that's really good information about X Factor. Where sometimes I get in business mode because I'll be honest, that's my strength. And it's not the products, but you've got to have that. So just remember your team culture, shout outs. You want to make tons of encouragement. Facebook Live is huge, y'all. Brooke is the queen of Facebook Live. I notice a lot of Jules, they use that. A lot of people are preferring. Alex Small, we do have this. Show your face to your team once a week. You should be making a video at least once a week. It's going to make you become a better leader. I know it's scary, but just a 2-minute video of Explain 531. That was my first video because I copied Andrea's. If you don't know what to say, find one of ours, or take some notes, and just rehash it. Because you post Andrea's 531, your team's like, who's this Andrea chick? You post 5, they're like, who's Julia? But you post it, they're going to listen to you because they're on your team. They know you. So make sure you're showing your face once a week to your team about something. So just make that your goal. That's going to help you in the long run. Just develop your leadership skills and just create a culture that people want to be on your team. Did I miss anything? Okay, so
I would just say too, like, you know the old saying, if mom ain't happy, ain't nobody happy? Like, I think you could put any kind of thing, because your culture is your energy and your environment. So like, if mom ain't positive, ain't nobody positive. If mommy's not excited, ain't nobody excited. So think about that, like you are kind of your mama bear of your team page, and you've got to protect that team culture to the utmost. So like, you may see that if there's even a slight, maybe negative undertone to someone that's trying to post something like, hey, y'all, I haven't heard back from customer service in 2 days. If I see that post on my team page, I'm probably going to reach out to that person instead of allowing that on my team page because I want to protect, like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So would you
And so-
delete that, or would you just kind of?
I would just probably message that person individually and say, hey, what's going on? What can I help you with?
Lindsay
So
has
admin.
tips set up so that she can see all. I have it set up on my
You
page
have
like
to
this, so you can
approve the
see the
posts
post
first.
before the post gets put on the team page.
So just think about as your family. You are the matriarch or patriarch of your team page, and you are protecting those people. You are,
I even take off when somebody has like lots of extra products and they're like, oh, I have all this extra product. I'm like, delete.
right.
I don't allow that.
And the reason is because that's telling your team that people have extra product. They don't want to take their products. No. Don't go to eBay. Don't come to my page.
You private message someone in your community and say, would you like my product?
Okay, we're going to go to block of objections. I think Melissa's going to do this for us real
Yes.
quick.
Okay, so I want to block a few objections from your team. So if you see your team and you're looking at your team page and you're coming up with these objections,
Will you stop just a